Guess what? We're in show business. Everybody's in show business. Whether you acknowledge it or not, a sales meeting is show business,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Sure
And you
is.
and the truly greats, they arrive ready. For example, if you have to, especially if like you've got an angel investor or you're in front of VCs, it's a really nice thing for them to realize that the person who has walked in is ready. They can't wait to share it. And they'll say, let me paint you a picture. It's 1900. There are no cars on the streets of Manhattan, only horses. What do you smell in the air? I'll tell you what you smell. You smell horse manure. The stench is so powerful that, and so all of a sudden they're with you. They can't help it. They're there in the territory. As cynical as they are, they're following the narration. And then you say, I want you, and so on. You can create an environment where they involuntarily are following you on this trip. The second thing that we learned about these radio theater that we used to do was typically when you are speaking to someone in a sales environment, 40% of the time they are daydreaming. Their mind is wandering. There are
Uh,
pressures that they're under. There are things they're worried about. If you are a little bit too boring, they really go off on, oh, I'm sorry, could you repeat that? My mind was elsewhere. I was thinking about, what I, something that I left the stove on, that sort of thing. And you and I both know that when you are speaking to anybody, they don't care about you. They care about themselves. They're worried about their own agendas and their own pressures, and they're walking in with, things that they're worried about. But when you tell somebody a story, they stop daydreaming. And the reason they stop daydreaming is, oh, they're still daydreaming. It's just that they're daydreaming about what you're talking about.
they're making the
They're with
movie.
you.
They're making the
They're
movie
right.
in their mind. Yeah. Okay.
They're still daydreaming, but it's about what you're saying. And now the images that they're forming in their mind are all to color and texture what you're saying. If you introduce a character, they have an image in their head. They're forming it themselves. They're participating in the story. They're they are there to fill in what we would refer to as theater of the mind. Well, there's something really important that happens when you get good at it and when you're a good storyteller and they know you're a good storyteller and they're looking forward to it. And that is that as you tell the story, you wind up on the same frequency. You and the audience wind up experiencing the same emotions at the same time. And that creates a vibrational agreement that makes them like you.
Hmm.
It it makes them feel a kind of calm acceptance that you and they are of no danger to one another. It's an unlock for having someone want to buy from you is that they don't see you as a threat. They see you as a comrade. Or and even if, and this happened to me on many occasions, a client would have to disapprove a piece of creative work that they knew I really liked. They couldn't say yes for a variety of reasons, not nefarious, just things I didn't know, or new pieces of information, or a budget got cut, and so on. But even though they said no, they were kind of it sort of saddened them a little, and they kind of gave you a little credit. It's a little bit like you buy an airline ticket, it's not a refundable ticket, but you couldn't take the flight, they credited you, right? So you had a little 401k going, and the next time it was close, like I might not. You got to cash in that chip,
Ah,
like the favor chip came back, and they would sort of want to make sure that they observe the rules of reciprocity. So,
interesting. It's very interesting because what I hear you saying is that that's the magic key to connection. And it's a real connection that you're forming and it's memorable.
and not only that, but it's a um, it's practically an economic relationship. Uh, the rule of reciprocity is that when you do somebody a favor, they owe you a return favor. And not everybody operates by this principle, but if we were in a tribe of 60, you better. And because everybody knows everybody. And if you get to be known as a selfish player, you're screwed. So when you there's a there is something about being a good storyteller that's actually quite generous, which is I am I am not about myself. I am about the two of us. I want to make a connection. There's an effort involved in telling a story rather than simply citing facts. That effort is appreciated on a human level. And to be appreciated on a human level, it it it's a lubricant. It's a social lubricant. It's a business lubricant. There is no greater asset in a business relationship than trust. And you don't build trust through the analytical and digital framework of simple exchange. You build trust when, as a human being, you feel as though you've got a fellow, a comrade, somebody who's in it with you, who wants to see you succeed. And stories are much more likely to produce that emotional connection than the alternative.